Okay, I'm not actually ready to put on my camera. And I shouldn't be smiling either. Why do I say I'm not ready? Because occasionally things precipitate, coalesce. Not things. There are no things. Nothing has happened in my life for 13 years. Even though it's been the most truly fascinating 13 years imaginable, including 2 years, 2.5 years, 2 3/4 years of true, genuine, the most massive life event grief, starting nearly 13 years ago, 12.5 years ago, right. Now and again, the moment, the kairos, the words, the energy. And I don't speak like some tom-tom drum bonging bongo boy or woman. Now and again, it's just the moment to really, the energy really is there to say what needs to be said. It's not quite the moment now. However, I've turned my camera on because I want to leave off. And it is 25 years of life, really, with my I think see there we go. It's not quite the moment. My words, my thoughts, my lived experience. Oh, don't use jargon like that. My lived life, which is at a very, very small scale level, no bohemian activity. I mean, one of the reasons I can't stand living even in beautiful regions like this now, in the middle of nowhere, is that the place is now populated more by these blokes. And they all look ex-public school, but the ones who've gone a bit bohemian, they often have corduroy jackets. Now, I love corduroy jackets, but I wouldn't wear them anymore because you have these blokes. They all have the right kind of, I don't know, they have kind of moleskinny trousers, but it's all the whole look is the Brideshead Revisited look almost, and it's all out of a vintage clothing shop in Portobello Road, and none of them have got anything to do with the countryside. They are performing being, is it Rupert? They're performing being a bohemian version of some Brideshead Revisited 21st century guy they perform at being in tune with nature, being part of this, and energized. No, they're not energized in it. They can't be. Anyway, yeah, I can't stand. I don't want to be associated with these people in any way. Sounds like I'm a misanthrope. Not at all. It's just that the thing. There's hills up there. There's land. There's fences that have fallen down. There's bits of habitat that need fencing off to protect and leaving. There are kind of pretty traditional little jobs which are not viable. They're economically not viable if you do them with machinery, that require labour, sweat, breaking fingernails, getting very dirty. You don't have to do these jobs when the weather's bad. The country person figures 2 weeks ahead. When's a benign period of weather coming? And at some point during that benign period, I'll rev myself up. I'll even build myself up a day or two before with having a good meat meal. Sometimes. I don't. That's very rare for me. But, and then you reach that point where your energy's good, you get out there and you have a wonderful couple of days battling on through some sweaty manual jobs. And it's great. Now, those guys don't do that. Oh, they may play it once for some no, they wouldn't do it for that camera. Hugh needs us all to come around and do this. Oh, let's do that. And it's an event, and it's always in the summer, of course. They wouldn't possibly be working away in the less good weather. Anyway, there ain't no women who want to exist like that. Or, to be more correct, as I wrote to somebody, I've known a couple, but they're married and it's almost like they have to be somehow protected by being unmarried. And I've known a couple who don't have blokes, and this is in the last decade, don't have blokes who appreciate their completely wonderful, naturalistic daily existence. And their smiles are gorgeous and their eyes are bright. No, I've known a couple like that, but one of them's an alcoholic. But it's that safety, not safety net financially, it's to be married means you don't have to go back out and look for somebody else or have others who might be more appropriate. One I went bush riding with, it was just wonderful. Anyway, she really likes me and I really like her, but it's safer to stay even in that pretty negative marriage. They don't have to stand up and be their real self. Anyway, I haven't put that very well. Yep. Only reason for putting the camera on, well, no, I got one. I'm finished. The last 24 hours has been fascinating. I've engaged quite deeply with 4 different women. And this is a kind of way of, I've got good at this. I don't want to be. That's the problem, really. I've engaged deeply. Like, a pretty good, deep human level. But I know that none of those 4 women really would even know what I'm talking about. They're slightly performative. What goes walking, she says. And I said to her yesterday, 24 hours ago, she said she hasn't got time. I said, find the time. It's all that matters. Yes, exactly. All that matters is a couple of times a week, ideally, march up a couple of hour walk. This is over 50. And I found this. It's all that matters. And I'm tired of never having anybody that comes along. This is not a pity video. This is reality video. It's like, and then a couple of others who I got to know. At the end of the day, one of them, it turns out, for all her, she regularly is walking her dog, but a local property was mentioned, just in passing, nothing. And it's like, oh yeah, we looked at buying that. This is a commercial property. It's like, deep down, that brings her to life. This is a very middle-aged woman. See, there's a red kite there. I've just been watching it. Now, I don't normally do that. I don't You know, so there's a red kite. There's loads of other crows. They're equally valid creatures. But the point is that it's like that. I noticed when she was talking about that, and we've had quite a few chats the last 6 weeks. She slightly lit up. It's like that was her purpose, as is the case with so many others now. Like, how are we going to hustle via a proper money business situation via property some big benefit? I mean, she herself called this property concern a money pit. In other words, that's her lingo. That's what really, this doesn't turn her on. I don't live for anything else. I can live for lots of things. I adore knowledge and new knowledge, proper new knowledge. But anyway, nobody you meet ever would say, I mean, there's another woman I spent an hour talking with last night, and we have a deep bond over something legal. She's also been a legal fighter, and she's very impressive. She's on a week walking Offa's Dyke, but it'll just be 1 week, actually 4 days. And in fact, you stayed in yesterday, and it wasn't that rainy. It rained a bit. That'll be well, I could tell from her body. I wouldn't be able to have the conversation with her. Look, a couple of times a week, just get out, a couple of hours, ramble on. No. Funny thing is that I'm less bleak. I've never been really bleak, but I'm less bleak, particularly this summer and autumn. It's got nothing to do with 2020. I love 2020, but I'm less bleak than I have been deep down, kind of ennui, melancholia at the impossibility of good companiera / decent community. Yeah? I'm less bleak at it than ever, but I know I have to forget. Well, you don't want to go. I've spent a lot of the last 10 years, well, 30, 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes for periods every day, a couple of hours a day going off, sometimes 4 or 5 hours. I just don't want to spend the rest of my life just doing that alone. I mean, the great big problem is, okay, and I've been in industrial finder help meet mode for a few years, well, for a year. I wasn't 2020, and I wasn't feeling great after that jab, which I shouldn't have had, but there was a perfectly pure reason for having it. I might have had to travel to go and see my daughter in a mess. Anyway, and when it's love, unconditional love, you don't think of yourself. You don't even think of what's right and wrong. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, 2020, I was in industrial find a help meet mode. As of a year ago, industrial find a help meet. If I spent hours and hours and days and days and days, there might be one person. I know 1 or 2 of these people exist, women exist. But the problem is, to be there, sniffing them out. You don't meet them on the hill, you just don't. To be there sniffing them out, or just hanging around in a cafe, whatever, that means you can't get back onto your walks. And I've spent too much time the last particularly 6 months, well, 3 months, trying to sniff 1 or 2 of them out. There we go. I don't know. But that's it. In a nutshell, that's all of it. The one hope, well, but you see these younger ones, actually see there is something interesting. Slightly younger ones, I'm not into a younger one. There's one younger one, she's different. But you realise, when you spend time with visitors, even here, you realise they have been so turned into these fragile robots by their years of computing, but more than computing, the notion that everything must be quantified in human resources terms and stuff like that. Anyway.